Festival of Marketing with David Parkinson from Nissan. David, could you just tell us about your unique role in Nissan and sort of your day-to-day activities?
So I work for Nissan, covering Africa, Middle East and India, and across those three regions I'm the head of digital. So anything which is digital and touches those areas, be it customer service, be it websites or social media, I help support those regions, and I do it in a very cross-functional way. So I work as a centre of excellence, and my team are basically there to support all the regions and doing the best they can across all digital activities.
So you could just tell us how long you've been at Nissan and how do you kind of describe your rise through the ranks?
Well, I've been with Nissan for quite some time now, so this is my 24th year at Nissan. I started on the production line back in 1992 building Nissan Micras, and I spent quite a lot of time educating myself to be able to move from that position. I very early worked on in my career that I needed to do something slightly different, something to challenge me a bit more and put it into my own hands to fix that. So I went to university, went to college, and eventually was able to move around Nissan, do different types of jobs and really get a different experience of a large motor company and all the different departments it has.
Okay, so having spent 2 days at Festival of Marketing now, are there any kind of topics that really piqued your interest?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are talking about VR and influencers at this festival. It seems to be the big topics. And I'm going to talk a little bit about VR in my presentation, which is to come. But really, I think what's come out from a lot of discussions is getting good at the basics. You know, everyone's talking about doing lots of crazy marketing stuff, and the reality is a lot of people just aren't doing the basics right. And I've been to a few good conversations with some of the different brands, OVO, and even the Unilever one, and it's about being good at the basics, getting the basics right and then building on top of that. People are looking at shiny toys and they still can't measure their website performance properly.
Okay, great. So just on your session in a bit more detail, what can we expect to hear from that?
So I'm going to talk about the reality of experiential. We did a massive experiential for the Dubai Motor Show last year. Very successful, very popular, but you know, experiential on its own is not the be-all and end-all of what you're trying to do in marketing. So I'm going to talk about the realities of that experiential campaign that we did, what was good and what was bad, and really how to try and apply that to your own marketing activities, and how to avoid the shiny toys and start looking at things that make a difference.
So in a position such as yours, what advice would you give to any kind of junior marketers that are looking to ascend the ranks in their company?
So, I mean, simply, the advice I would give is to learn a little bit of every job. There's a lot of people who are, you know, they think they're experts at everything, but they actually can't do the job. And I think if you're looking at things like email marketing, you're looking at things like website design, even coding, just learn enough so that you can get people moving in the right direction, and so that later on in the day, you can't be befuddled by some of the agency conversations and even the brand conversations. Learn a little bit of everything and make sure you can do enough to be an expert, but not enough to go and have to do as a day-to-day job.
So just finally, we specialise in performance marketing. What's your knowledge of that area?
I mean, performance marketing is everything. The reality is earned is I'm not going to say dead, but it's you know, it's thrashing around in the sidelines. You know, if you want to have some marketing that makes sense and marketing that's measurable, you need to get into the performance area, and that includes measuring properly, and includes measuring every single part of the marketing you're doing and getting the most out of the money. And if you're not measuring and doing the performance element of that, you're not managing your money properly.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, David.
My pleasure.
Cheers.